If you haven't registered to vote yet in the upcoming presidential election, you still have time. Midnight is the deadline to register online. Welcome to The Four. I'm Marcella Lee, in today for Heather Myers.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedall joins us live from the Registrar's office with what you need to know. She also has the latest numbers on how many ballots have already been returned to San Diego County. Kelly?
That's right. You know, Election Day is about 2 weeks away. We have seen a decent number of people show up here today to drop off their mail-in ballots. Now, as you mentioned, the deadline to register to vote online is midnight. Now, I spoke to the Registrar of Voters earlier today, and she says things have really been picking up here.
The call volume has definitely picked up. People asking questions about early voting, about returning their mail ballot. So what we would expect at this time.
And you need to register to vote if you are not already registered in San Diego County, or if you've recently moved, or if you've changed your name. You can check your registration status online at sdvote.com. So early voting is well underway. As for numbers here in San Diego County, Cynthia Paz, whom you just heard from, tells me about 260,000 mail-in ballots have been returned so far. Now, to give you some perspective, that's about 13%. And if you compare that to 2020 at this same time, 22% of ballots had been returned. Now, I talked to some voters out here about what issues that is really stand out to them, and here's what they told me.
Immigration. I'm really concerned about our economy. Making ends meet. We've got to have leaders who really care and understand what it's like for us.
Healthcare. I have a son who has special needs. And so that's like number one for me, and also our rights to our reproductive freedom, and so that's very important.
And everyone I spoke to today all agrees this election is very important. Voting is very important. Now, even if you aren't able to register to vote today online, you can still vote. You would just have to come here in person to the Registrar of Voters office, or go to one of the vote centers, which opens starting on Saturday. You would conditionally register and then file a provisional ballot. So all that information, all the dates, all the information you need to know, sdvote.com. We also have a link on our website at cbs8.com. Marcel and Carlo.
Kelly, you mentioned early voting is already underway and that the amount of ballots turned in so far is less at the same time last election cycle. Should we make anything of that at this point?
Yeah, and that was something I was wondering about. Yeah, I mean, it's not just a trend here in San Diego. They say it's also a trend statewide that a fewer number of people have returned their mail-in ballots compared to 2020 at this time. Some speculate that it could be because back in 2020 there was a pandemic going on and there was really a push to get people to turn in their mail-in ballots early, but that's all speculation. I can tell you that voter turnout this year is expected to be anywhere from 80 to 85%.
All right, maybe people want to make their voices heard on Election Day itself. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks so much, Kelly.